Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Rambeard, and today we're gonna talk about the troll that brought us the closest to working for the Lich King we've ever been. I'm talking about no other troll than Drakuru. To start off, we need to know a bit about Dratharon Keep in order for what is to come to make sense. Dratharon Keep is a huge fortified troll stronghold on the border between Grizzly Hills and Zul'Drak. Even though it was originally a Drakari built structure, it has since been taken over by the Scourge, and during Warcraft 3 Mal'Ganis actually used it as his base. In our time, the keep is still infested with Scourge, and we wish to cleanse it. Now, to continue on. In a previous video, we watched Bud as he and his crew were working in the Grizzly Hills. In their small encampment near the Granite Springs, they have a cage set up with a Drakari troll in it. This comes to us as no surprise, as Bud and Co are studying the local trolls. This caged one, Drakuru, is interested in a little conversation, however. He tells us that he used to be a wild individual, killing dozens of our race. Now those days are over, and he tells us he knows things that will help us with the struggles we're going through in the Grizzly Hills. Presumably how to deal with Dratharon Keep. With his tusks, he cuts open one of his palms and reaches for ours, proposing a Blood Pact. He tells us what he knows if we help him out. Liking the possibility of some help with Dratharon, we grab a knife, cut ourselves, and shake his hand. To start off, Drakuru wants us to gather ingredients for an elixir that would allow us to directly contact him, even without being physically together. We would be able to pour the elixir onto certain braziers where his image would then appear. We bring him the ingredients, and as he mixes up the elixir, he tells us about a legendary set of artifacts created to make Dratharon impervious. The Eyes of the Prophet, the Heart of the Ancients, and ancient Drakari tablets. The artifacts have been lost for ages and have gone on to become a myth, but Drakuru tells us they're real, and that their whereabouts are described on hieroglyph walls in some ruins nearby. Oh yeah, you forgot to mention that aside from the elixir, we'll also need mojo from nearby trolls to see his image in the braziers. We go to the ruins, collect the mojo, and summon Drakuru's image onto a nearby brazier. He is able to read the hieroglyphs and now knows where to find all three of the artifacts. Starting off with the first one, the Eyes of the Prophet. The eyes are to be found in a statue in a nearby troll village by the name of Zebhalak. We leave for the town, have an easy time locating the artifact, and summon Drakuru after having claimed the eyes. He then tells us about the next one, the Heart of the Ancients. Apparently some goblins have dug up the artifact by accident and are keeping it safe atop one of their drilling platforms. How this was readable from the ancient hieroglyphs, I don't know. The collection of this artifact is a lot easier, and we summon Drakuru again to a brazier nearby. The third artifact, the Drakari tablets, will be the most difficult to claim as they lay deep in the underground labyrinth of the Drakiljan ruins. We manage to grab the tablets and once more summon Drakuru. He tells us that this is all we'll need to secure Dratharon Keep once we've cleansed it of the Scourge that inhabit it. In the awesome dungeon, we fight our way through the keep, battling Scourge of all kinds. Atop the keep sits the Prophet Tharanja, and we're not so sure who or what this is. It is possible that he's a Loa, but this has been all but confirmed. It is also possible that it is a mortal presence of a god by the name of Tharanja. The only reason to believe this is the existence of the avatar of Hakar in the Sunken Temple, who we know to be the mortal presence of Hakar the Blood God. I'll touch more on these characters in a future video. Even though the Prophet seems like a powerful being, we managed to kill it with relative ease, and thus Dratharon Keep is cleansed. Now it is time to summon forth Drakuru. This time, back in his old home, he is able to fully materialize and walks up to the keep's overlook to fully take in the place. This is where shit goes down. Out of nowhere, he summons the Lich King using the artifacts we got him, all the while apologizing towards us for his deceit. The Lich King tells Drakuru he has fulfilled his task and that Dratharon Keep will be the home of a new Scourge army, Drakuru's army. He also bestows a gift on Drakuru, turning him into a way more massive troll than he was before. The Lich King leaves again and Drakuru elaborates. Apparently he had been working for the Lich King all along, and he tries to convince us to join the Scourge as well. We don't necessarily accept, but neither do we decline. We just kinda leave him be. It's hard to say why the Lich King wanted Dratharon Keep cleansed while it was filled with his own Scourge. Maybe the Scourge inside the keep had somehow managed to escape the Lich King's grasp, but that's a bit of a stretch. But it matters not, as there are just a bunch of new Scourge in the keep now. We don't deal with this situation and just stroll off, basically. As we continue to progress through the northern storyline, we enter Zul'Drak, the big, partially former Drakari Empire. A lot of the land has been claimed by the Scourge, and eventually we end up at a small camp, Light's Breach. A couple of Argent Crusade members are dealing with friendly Wolvar, whose homes have been attacked by the Scourge. We are sent to investigate the situation and help where we can. We find the Scourge's Overlord's orders in the middle of the town and find out that Drakuru, now Overlord Drakuru, is behind all this. It states that the Lich King has given Drakuru full command command of the armies in Zul'Drak, and that every non-Scourge organism is to be eliminated. The bodies are processed and then sent to Zeramos, but unfortunately this floating necropolis is not used in game. It's just a hollow floating city without any NPCs inside. We battle Drakuru's trolls, free the local Wolvar from Drakuru's shackles, and go on to bring Drakuru's orders to Crusader Lord Latinga at Light's Breach, who initially sent us out to search for them. Against his will, he sends us to ask the Knights of the Ebon Blade for help, as Drakuru is too dangerous to take on with the small force of Light's Breach. When we reach the Ebon Watch, it turns out that the Knights of the Ebon Blade knew about Drakuru's activity for a long time, and that they had been tracking him since his activity in the Grizzly Hills. We're slightly flabbergasted by this knowledge and decide to just help out the Death Knights there. As we're killing ghouls, we find a peculiar choker and bring it to Stefan Vadu, the leader of the Ebon Watch. He, together with another Death Knight, shows us that the choker is used to turn creatures into Scourge. At this moment, a small light bulb appears in Stefan's head, as he sends us to gather some materials he needs. While we're gone, he enchants the necklace so that we can wear it without turning into Scourge. However, we do appear as Scourge, and together with Stefan we think of a plan to bring Drakuru down. We are to infiltrate the necropolis he's leading from, Voltarus, gain his trust and then take him down when he's at his weakest. We get a horn from Stefan, which we can use to signal him whenever we need him, and so we set out. Equipped with the choker, we enter the necropolis and walk up to Drakuru. He recognizes us and man is he happy to see us. He welcomes us, immediately tells us he's proud of us, and tells us to talk to one of his minions, Gorbag, who will show us around Zul'Drak. After we've taken the tour, Drakuru promises us some work soon, so we take the time to report back to Stefan and tell him about our success. Stefan gives us a vial to neutralize the plague cauldrons in a nearby area for later. We report back to Drakuru and we're tasked with commanding some lowly geasts who are supposed to be harvesting blight crystals. We are given a commanding scepter to subdue the geasts. While we command them, we sneak some of the neutralizer into the plague cauldrons and no one suspects a thing. After having brought in quite some blight crystals, Drakuru is filled with joy. He promises us even better work in the near future, and once more we report back to Stefan, who now wants us to bring him some of the blight crystals for inspection. We go back up to Drakuru, who isn't so happy anymore, as he found out that the plague cauldrons are useless. He blames the overseer, Darmuk, and we are sent to kill him, gaining even more of Drakuru's trust. With a new commanding scepter, we subdue a Scourge troll, and with its help, kill the overseer. We also sneak out some of the crystals to Stefan, who wants us to destroy Scourge wagons while he inspects the crystals, and report to Drakuru again. Drakuru bursts into laughter as he tells us about an army of Drakari trolls that seek to destroy Voltarus. We are given a scepter to control abominations this time, and we're sent to lure out some of the Drakari chiefs by killing some normal foot soldiers. We manage to secretly destroy the Scourge wagons and lure in 3 Drakari chiefs who are brought to Voltarus. When we return to Drakuru, he is pleased with us, so pleased that he's willing to share information on a secret weapon and even show it to us. We are sent to his upper chambers, where we're greeted by one of Drakuru's servants, Malmortis. Malmortis shows us the heaps of blight crystals we've brought in and brings us to the captured Drakari chiefs. He shows us what happens when the Drakari trolls are exposed to the crystals for a long period of time. They turn into massive red behemoths called Blight Bloods, getting incredible amounts of strength. This is very bad, and we tell Stefan about this. He thinks it's best to end the charade. We are to kill Drakuru. We go up to him in his necropolis. He eagerly greets us and tells us it's time to complete the conversion of the Drakari chiefs on the top of the necropolis. We teleport to the top of Voltarus together with Drakuru, and this is when shit goes down once again. We grab a hold of the commanding scepter we've held onto from our previous mission and use it to subdue one of the converted Blight Bloods. Drakuru is astonished by our betrayal, and it made me feel kind of bad actually. Even though he works for the Lich King, he completely trusts us. With this bad feeling, we strike at him. The fight is long and bitter, and after a long time, Drakuru has had enough. He summons forth the Lich King to ask for aid. The Lich King does all but appreciate this. The call for help seems to him as a failure on Drakuru's part, and he utterly destroys him. The Lich King looks at us, as tense as we are facing this massive power, but does not attack. He tells us that our betrayal was somewhat amusing, and that for now it's reason enough to let us live. He warns us that next time we meet, he'll need a lot more reasons to spare our lives. With this, he leaves. How ironic it is that we will eventually turn out to be the ones killing the Lich King instead, though not on our own. We bring Drakuru's skull to Stefan, who is very pleased with us. Drakuru's story is wrapped up, and we've earned ourselves the Guru of Drakuru achievement. As Drakuru was completely destroyed, his story ends here. But oh my, what a story it was. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did finding this all out. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.